Hey, what's up guys? Scott Wynn here doing another run for American Truck Simulator. Today we're going to be driving this Kenworth T680, 600 horsepower, about 2,000 pounds of foot torque, and your standard gas tanks. So I'll have to take a look, see if they gave me enough gas for this run. We got awesome biplane in the background. That's pretty cool. So we're going to be hauling this gigantic 97,000 pound milling machine from, let's see where this run goes. This run goes from Grand Canyon Village through Flagstaff, Holbrook, Gallup, Albuquerque, through Roswell. I'm looking forward to that. Let's keep an eye up above for any UFO activity. Right down to Artesia. And one of my goals too is, you see I've explored 5.83% of the map, is to explore this entire map with this new campaign profile. So I'm really looking forward to this run, and let's get her going. Let's get rid of that, start her up. Definitely have an oversized load here. Looks like we have pretty close to almost a full gas tank, about 7/8 full. So we'll see if that gets us there. Let's see, again, it's over 600 miles, so, and I'll get a little over 25K for this run, so pretty excited about that. This is a really nice rig, by the way. I think I'm going to enjoy it. I've been driving a lot of the Kenworths lately, and I really do like them. This is definitely on my radar as a rig I might want to purchase, but this would be a great long drive for me to get a look at her. The inside is beautiful. Get a look at all these gauges in just a minute. And while we're at this early stage, why don't we go windows down so we could hear some of the sound she makes. Nature in the town as well. Let's get on our way. She has a mean sound to her. Pretty long trailer there, so I don't want to take these turns for granted. Alright, rolling the windows up. Alright. So we're on Route 180 to Flagstaff. We're heading in a general easterly direction. That's my gas tank down there behind the steering wheel. Really love these combination, I'm guessing that's walnut, the steering wheels, along with the rubberized portion of them as well, for good grip. Nice look. I do love the Kenworth logo too. It looks really good on the steering wheel. It's kind of a classic look. Kebab National Forest. A little bit of a deviation there with that problem on the side of the road. This is not a part of the country I've driven in real life or in this game, so this should be pretty exciting. Let's see, I'm already not doing a great job with this trailer. Let me just slow down a little bit in this section. I got to remember to stay towards the outside of the turn, so I'm not going over the double yellow with that trailer. Coconino National Forest. Pretty cool. I mean, you only just need look around as I drive through these maps to see just the incredible diversity in our country, not only in our people, but just in landscape. It's so incredible to have such a diverse country. I mean, you go to any different country, you go to the Dominican Republic or you go to Brazil, which is a very large country, and I guess you get some variety there as well in a country like Brazil. But some of these countries have one climate. They have one type of setting, one thing that they're famous for. And you look at the United States and we have beaches, we have mountains, we have hills, we have prairies, we have plains, we have icy, snowy areas, we have tropical areas. I mean, we have a bit of everything, it feels like. Flagstaff discovered. And how blessed we are to be able to fly or drive these amazing roads, visit these amazing national parks that people like Teddy Roosevelt had the foresight to protect. And it's just amazing. At least we've done that right. Get in the zone, auto zone. I'm in the zone. Don't you worry about it. That's a cool medical clinic sign. I haven't seen that before. Kind of that growing neon. I think neon is so cool. I'm pretty funny like that. Like, I like really rural, dark areas, but then sometimes the glitz of the lights at cities or neon signs like that just, I don't know, it just really does it for me. Love these natural ads. Aquafina, real brand. Great job on that mod. Maybe it's about time I run over mods again, but let's see how long this video is. Could be a pretty long one, so I may skip that at the end of this one, but every third or fourth video I think it's probably good to go over my mods. Show you guys what I'm running. I mean, they've been so stable. You could really run into an issue with mods, but I have a rule on mods too. I guess rule number one is, I want to make sure that other people have been, running these mods. Oh, looks like I took the wrong turn there for some reason. I don't know what I was doing. Probably I'm just talking. It's okay. Get to see a little bit more of this town. A couple rules on that. I want to make sure other people have tested them out. That would be my first rule. If people have, and I've seen them recommended. Nice train station by other people. But the other thing I want to see is, more than a 4.2 or 4.3 star rating on Amazon for these mods. I want to see that people are rating them high. I mean, ratings don't lie when you start to get into hundreds of ratings. People like it or they don't. And if you're getting 2.7, then it's not a mod you probably want to load. It either doesn't work or it's been abandoned or something's going on. And some of these mods ask for priority, and that's really the mod manager in this game is really amazing. They do a great job with it. Not many games have that, where you can manage your mods after loading the game and within the game. At least not a lot of the ones that I play. And it's really easy to give them priority. You just simply click on it and hit like a up button or a priority button, and you're in business. But not many of them ask for that. So I really have about, probably 10 or more mods loaded on here. Tire mods, police car mods that give you different police cars, traffic mods, rain mods. Probably the best mod I have is the mod for the headlights, or the realistic landscape mods. It's a big one, and it's pretty significant. It gives you hung up a little bit here, maybe. Can't tell what I'm hung up on, but I may need to reverse it a little bit if I don't run into anybody. Okay, swing around a little bit more to the left here. Let me put this in V. There we go. Alright, I think I just getting hung up on the curb here maybe a little bit. There we go. We're out of there. No damage done. No harm, no foul. I'm really going to have to be careful. This is a long trailer, and that is a really big, I think it was called a Millery machine I have on the back there, so just need to be careful. Really swinging these turns wide. As wide as is possible. It's tough though. You see the challenge the truckers run into. You just can't always swing it wide like you want to. It's just not always possible. Okay, so hopefully somebody lets me in here. Yep, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. You know, without nice people like that, I could be here for 5-10 minutes easy. Alright, so we're well on our way here. We have a speed limit of 75, which is nice. An Aaron's store up there. I believe that's it's like a rental store. Aaron's, I can't quite see what it is. I can't remember what type of store that is, but I know I see them around where I live. Could be an all-purpose store. Alright. This is a beautiful landscape right here. I definitely can tell I have not been here. So just like I said, I'm trying to vary the trucks I'm driving. I'm trying to vary the routes. And I would love to explore at least 90-something% of this map. That would be my goal on this campaign. So for you, that's amazing. Especially if you're new to this game and you haven't tried it out yet. To see somebody start a campaign from the very start. To drive all over the map on all the states. Some of them are included in the original game, and then some of them are part of DLCs. And I do highly recommend the $10-12 you'll spend for the new DLCs. I think Colorado is next, and you guys get a really good look at the game, and you get to learn from what I've done, right or wrong. I mean, I don't have a ton of experience in this game. I have maybe I'd say 40 or so hours, and I've done a lot of things right and I've done a lot of things wrong, but I'm happy with where I'm at. I would say I feel pretty confident. Like I do a good job and have mostly clean runs. I just had a wet cat jump on my lap while I'm driving, and he's currently rubbing his head on the microphone, so if you hear anything weird, that's my cat doing his thing. He's a cool cat, man. He's really social, and he's not afraid to go outside if it's raining, that's for sure. Good boy. Some kind of canyon there. A little slot canyon. Those slot canyons can be dangerous in the rain. It could save your life one day. I know my wife was in one of those Knowles programs, and she was she's about 19 years old. She was going out to college in Arizona, not too far from this area that we're in now. And they were hiking into a slot canyon, and they just happened to look over the ridge before they went down into the canyon, and some of the people who were running the program noticed that there were some storm clouds way off in the distance, but potentially moving this way. And I guess while they were out there, they're responsible. Like, you go into one of those Knowles programs, I mean, you basically sign a waiver that said you could die out here because you're navigating without proper equipment or proper stuff. You're sometimes left alone, and the people who are running it will say, hey, come meet us here at this spot 10 miles away and be there tomorrow afternoon by 6 o'clock or something. Then you have to navigate and work as a team to get there, that type of stuff. But it's definitely like if you take a step off to the left here, you can fall off a cliff and die. So there's definitely that. But they hike down in this slot canyon, and looks like somebody put down one of those road things. Yep. Broken down car. And around midnight, they made the decision that they had to get out of that canyon quick because there was some rain up north of them. And it doesn't have to rain right on top of you when you're in one of those canyons. It can rain 200 miles north of you, and that water's coming somewhere, and it's coming down that canyon. You don't want to be in there when that water comes rushing down there at 50, 60 miles per hour, just looking for the path of least resistance. So they had to climb out of there with. Hopefully this guy doesn't pull out. Don't do it. Thank you. Plus I have a cat on my lap. This is not making things easy. I'm going to boot him off. You got to get down, bud. Thank you. It's hard to work the pedals with a cat on your lap, especially when he's wet. It just doesn't feel good. And yeah, they were able to climb out of that canyon in the rain. And obviously she made it out safe. If you ever hike in slot canyons, a little bit of information can save your life. And it's just like what we looked at. There are these high canyons that are, yeah, I mean, they're called slot canyons for obvious reasons, but, you know, they're tall walls on both sides, and if that water doesn't take a lot of water to flow down through those canyons too, because it's such a narrow slot, and it'll sweep you away and kill you. Bash your head on a rock and it's game over. Alright, let's get back to driving. Drinking some tea. Have some vanilla chai. Not much of a coffee drinker. Never have been. My mom is. I always love the smell of coffee in the morning when she made her coffee, but always hated the taste of it. Not too long ago, I dropped my wife off at the airport. She was traveling overseas. It was actually before this whole COVID thing. And she had left her mug in the car with the coffee in it, and I forgot she had it there, so I went to reach for our mugs, which look very much the same. They're just different colors. And grabbed the wrong one, and man, I damn near threw up in the car. Had to roll down the window and spit it out. I think I could have projectile vomited all over the dashboard. That's how much I hate coffee. And won't make that mistake again. So let's see if it wants me to go into this way station. It's not saying anything, but let's see if it gives me that warning. That was a rest area right there, not the way station. Oh, look at this teepee up there. That's pretty cool. No doubt a tourist spot. Or, yep. I actually had a place like that where I used to live. Welcome to New Mexico. That was like a tourist trap type of shop like that. Yep, pulling in. And had a teepee out front, and another one that was there too had like these gigantic kind of plaster like bears, stuff like that, to attract people in. Of course the kids all want to go in the teepee while their parents buy little trinkets that they don't need. They had some pretty cool stuff in there. Most of it was just like pretty horrible because it was it's supposed to be like Native American artifact type of stuff, but when you look at the bottom, it's made in China. Vehicle gross weight 143,000 pounds. That might be a record for me. I'm not sure. Could be a record. It's pretty heavy weight to be hauling. I might have been up at 170 on a haul not too long ago. Can't remember. Alright, lucked out here. Back on the highway. 40 East. Gallup discovered. It's a nice section of country. I don't think I'd want to live here, but it's cool to drive through. You wonder how these towns popped up here in the kind of desert area. There's probably a water source nearby would be my guess, but in today's day and age, you know, of course the older towns across our country were always on a water source, number one, and when water equaled transportation, that would be a double reason to be there. But then when the trains got set up, they definitely wanted a water source, but a lot of these towns out west became popular due to the train running through them. And now that the passenger trains don't run through them, they've had to find ways to reinvent themselves. Maybe from gold mining towns to tourist towns or that type of thing. Yeah, it was a little aggressive there, but this right lane's Slowville right now. I don't want to be there. On a one-way trip to Slowville. I don't think so, guys. Really should stay in the right lane mostly, but unless you have to pass. Flame Rock. It's probably a famous place in real life. Otherwise, I can't imagine why they'd make a building that looked like that. Go through the effort of modeling that. This is a nice balance, I'm sure, for the devs of taking standard buildings and just retexturing or recoloring them. And the same building that's in New Mexico could easily be in Arizona, and so on and so forth. But man, I am hauling here. Let me slow down a little bit. I don't even know how fast I was going. My speedometer ran out of real estate there. Certainly going 80, 85 at least. There we go. My estimate is I might have been going closer to 90. Speed limit 75. Try and keep it below that. I turned off all the ticket stuff because it was just driving me crazy. And I have a little bit of a heavy foot. I don't believe I'm driving too recklessly. But sometimes I do some reckless things, I guess. But hey, it's a game. I want to enjoy it, and everybody has their own settings, that they enjoy. And the other thing I didn't like was the fatigue factor and having to find a rest stop all the time, and that's just not the level I'm looking for. I don't want to be bothered with that. I just want to drive. And somebody else might like the idea of having to drive around and find a rest stop, but it's just not me. I think what cut it for me with the fines was, and I've told this before, but so many videos back, I was driving on a highway at night, and we came around a turn, and all of a sudden there was road construction, no warning whatsoever, and I literally had to slam on my brakes to avoid taking some people out. And there was a police car right behind me, and he must have had to slam on his brakes too, but the difference is he wasn't able to stop, and he slammed right into the back of my trailer. Looks like we have some stuff going on here. Let me be proactive here and get in the left lane so I don't have trouble making my way over. And see if this guy can get in front of me. Tried to give him a little bit of room, but he didn't go for it. Snooze, you lose. Oh wow, that's a pretty cool effect there. Some of those pipes fell off. Pretty terrifying if that happened in real life. Yeah, but I was a little put off. I mean, the cop rear-ended me, and I ended up having to pay an $1,800 fine for seemingly causing that accident. Right at the time, I was young, I was building, I was trying to get my money up, and I was a little pissed off. That didn't sit too well with me, so I decided to turn that off because there were more than just that one instance where somebody cut me off and I rammed into them. It didn't matter if they were behind me or they were in front of me. It was always if there was some kind of collision, it was my fault and I had to pay out of my pocket, and I just don't agree with that. So I turned it off, and I've been much happier since. But everybody has their own, you know, preferences and settings that they like. This is just what I like. And I'm not going to judge anybody, and I hope nobody judges me, but, you know, people will inevitably judge. It's human nature. I'm just appreciative of you guys supporting me, watching my videos. I appreciate that, I really do. If I didn't think I can grow this channel, I wouldn't be doing this. But I enjoy it. You know, I do it because I enjoy it, not because I have ambition. I have a full-time job. You know, this is not a job for me. I do it because I enjoy it. And it makes me feel good to know that people are watching these videos and getting some sense of enjoyment. Maybe it's helping you de-stress at the end of a long day. You know, the same reasons I drive help me de-stress, so we de-stress together. It's a good thing. Albuquerque. Try spelling that without looking at the queue up there. It's a tough one. Cool bus, Central Lines. Splitting the gap here. I don't think I have super long to drive here. I've been cruising out on these highways with these high speed limits. Been able to keep it safe, haven't bashed into anything. I don't intend to. I don't believe I jinx myself when I say that. That's flat out superstition in my mind. Look at these roads, man. This is incredible. This might be a good time to get an exterior view. Check it out. Check it, check it. Let me go back. I'm a little nervous. Nice sky ahead, too. It seems like it's pretty clear ahead of us, but we definitely have some stormy weather ahead of us. Let's see if we catch up with it. I guess it depends on how fast it's moving. If it's moving 30 miles per hour, we might catch it. You know, storms like that probably do move about that speed. Don't do it. Looks like it's staying 3 lanes here, so it should be fine. A little Ford something there, maybe a Ford Escape. Looks like it. Tramway Boulevard. It's a nice rock formation up that way. I mentioned this in another video not too long ago. It's just, if you're driving, every once in a while do that. Sometimes you just get treated. You see a sailboat, a guy paragliding, a helicopter, a cool slot canyon. This game rewards you if you take your eye off the road for just a minute and start to glance around. Plus it makes the videos a little more interesting, I think, where I'm not just kind of locked into this mode where we're just looking at what is just ahead of us. I'll take a screen grab at some point. Look at the color of those pillars on that highway. Kind of a soft pink. I wonder whether that's like a well, I know they have a pink quartz, but they also have a I think some pinkish type of rocks that they make concrete out of. Get that look. Right lane ends. So let me get over to the left here. I can see what's happening already. You see this? Some moron doesn't know how to merge, and that's what you get. There's this white station wagon I've spotted for the 298th time in the last 4 days. Very uncommon car that seems to be very common in this game. Drives me crazy a little bit, I have to say. I don't know what it is about it. When I first saw it, I was all nostalgic and like, oh wow, I used to drive in cars like that. And now I just it just pisses me off. It's funny. It's funny the things that get on your nerves. See, I'm going a little over the speed limit here. Let's slow her down. Plus, this is, you know, it's a little turny here. I probably shouldn't be driving this huge rig at these speeds. I feel like I'm doing a pretty good job with it. See if I can get over to the right. There we go. Of course, as soon as I get over, some guys are trying to merge. Yeah, that's a good argument for staying in the middle lane or off to the left. You don't have to deal with that. Certainly going fast enough to be in this lane. I'll move it over though. Love the way the sun is kind of coming in on my steering wheel on the dashboard there. It's a nice effect. Looks realistic. I tell you, there's so many driving games that just don't pay attention to the details on the inside of vehicles. I mean, one of those is, well, it's pretty notorious. I mean, I'm just stating the obvious, but if you haven't seen these games, Mud Runner and Snow Runner, I mean, those games look... Gosh, I don't know what this guy's doing. Probably should just get around him. He's driving really fast when I was trying to pass him on the left. They look amazing. Amazing on the outside. But you get on the inside of those vehicles, I mean, it's an absolute joke what those vehicles look like on the inside. Now, I wonder what the developers must be thinking. And one of the things they need to do is just get rid of those jazz hands. I call them jazz hands because they're kind of dancing around in a really weird way. Let's see, am I getting off here? Yep, I'm getting off here. Oh, I signaled the wrong way, my bad. Signal right. Let's not take this, we've been driving 80 plus miles an hour. Let's make sure we take this turn smartly here. I think that's what happens in some of these rollovers. These guys have been on the highway for like 5 hours, and all of a sudden they have to go 25 around a curve, and just used to going fast. But anyhow, yeah, they should probably just remove the hands, but I mean, they put so much effort into making the game look beautiful from the outside, from the, you know, third person view like what we're seeing here, but this looks equally good, you know, from the outside. And let's take a quick screen grab because that looks pretty cool. Just, it's equally good. And you know, that's the way it should be. I mean, you look at how much effort, look at all the knobs in here, look at all the words. I mean, and these, I'm sure these are accurate too. They've really done their homework on these particular vehicles. I mean, just look at the detail right down to the stitching, those little puffy things, fabric things in the door. This could be a tough spot to get out of. I'm just gonna need to pull up a little bit. Let's see, it's clear on my right. I just need to get clear on my left here. Alright. It's easier than I thought. But yeah, I mean, you know, if you're looking for an immersive game, like, how do you even go inside a vehicle in that game? I don't really understand. It looks horrendous. And you know, I'm a bit of a, call me a graphics snob if you will. But, you know, this stuff's important to me. I don't want to go into an inside view and just be looking at crap graphics. It's just, you know, it's kind of unacceptable. I just think, you know, people need to pay more attention to the little details on games. And, you know, we're at this age with games where, you know, people kind of demand that a little bit more. You know, you can't cut corners like you used to. You have to really put the work in. But, you know, not every dev has that vision, or the budget, or the know-how, or something to do that. but luckily this game does. It's one of the reasons I latched onto it. I could see how dedicated the devs are, and yeah, they're making money. I mean, I don't mind. I'll take my money every time you throw a DLC out, as far as I'm concerned. Let's see, let me just reset my track IR. Yeah, it seems like I'm just getting a little slouchy there. Come on, bud. Which horn should I give him? This one? We'll see which one he responds to more. This one is the definite, like, get out of my way, you jackass. There we go. Finally. Route 54. I'm really liking this run. This has been a fun run. I've liked everything about it. I've liked what I'm hauling. I like the rig. I like the maps, what I've seen. The varied driving I've been doing. Beautiful scenery. Cue the birds circling around up ahead. The other day I thought those were airplanes on another drive I did. I don't know. I've done a lot of World War I sims, so I think I'm, you know, used to seeing planes just circling around like that, fighting each other, and just kind of stuck in my head. Wow, that looks absolutely beautiful. Absolutely stunning. See what time of day it is. It's about 8 o'clock. Yeah, people are going to hate me. Well, let me get up close to this church. Maybe I could pull off to the side. I'd love to get a nice screenshot up here. This just looks really beautiful. Let me see. It's going to let me pull off to the side here. I definitely don't want to get to a spot where I have to turn around. Alright guys, I'm back. Got the most amazing screenshot with the sun just going in the background. I think I'll make that the title shot for this video. And we can't have long. 134 miles. Let's see, I think I have enough gas. Yeah, we have enough gas. It always throws you off on that graphic. Just look at the difference between that graphic on the right and what I'm looking at my dashboard. Don't ever use that graphic on your right. I have to assume that's way off, and that what I'm looking at on my actual gauge is correct. But I used to look at that and freak out and say, oh man, I'm so low on gas, and then I just had plenty. Pretty drastic change in light there. Let me get my headlights on. So I've liked this rig. Was it the W900? I'm getting to know these now. The Kenworth W900 with the 600 HP 2000 foot torque. Nice rig. It's a little slow up these hills, but I'm hauling an insane amount of weight. I mean, this is, between the rig and this, it's 143,000 pounds. It's a 97,000 pound thing I'm hauling behind me, so I think it's doing a good job, like an old Hardy Hawks or something. Just, it's able to pull it, man. Nothing else can. Can bypass that, really nice. Take that. Alright, left-hand turn up here. Wow, these skies. Look at the contrast when I look right versus left. I love that. It's like the edge of town. That's what it is. I was trying to put my finger on that the other day. Like, what is it? And, is the guy still coming? Had to cut that a little tighter than I wanted to because those guys were coming on pretty quick. But it's that edge of town look where you look down one way and it's all these lights and activity, and then you look the other way and it's this. And this looks incredible. I mean, look at these skies. This looks amazing. I'm trying to get over to the right, but nobody's really letting me. I'm gonna wait till I get up to speed. There we go, looks like I have it now. Alright. Look at that moon, looking awesome. I recorded a lot of videos in the last 2 days. I think I have 4 or 5 videos that need to be edited, including this one. I'd say more like 5, so I have a pretty good... I'm trying to put one out a day. YouTube likes that, I believe, when you put out one a day. It shows that you're consistent, and I think they give you higher rankings on your keywords and all that when people are searching, so I could do a little more research on that. But I had a YouTube channel many years ago. I'm an idiot for not continuing it because it was doing really well, but you know, wife, babies, you know, it gets hard, you know, working. But I started about 10 years ago and it grew very quickly. If I still had that channel today, I think it would be my full-time job. But I didn't continue it, and so I'm not a total noob at doing a YouTube channel. Hopefully I'm doing a good job. I think I am. And we'll grow this one. Plenty of time. I'm doing it because I love doing it, not for any other reason. And now I have a little bit more time, I think. Should we roll down the windows a little bit? Just get a little bit of sound. Roswell. Well, this is exciting. What did I discover here off to my left? Truck something. What is this place? Spend money? Truck headquarters. I don't get what this is. Well, there's no way I'm pulling into there. Pulling there means I need to back it out. Although I do want to check it out. Roll these windows up. Looks like I might have been able to pull around the building there. It's alright. I'll make note. Whoop, I'm running a light here. I'm through it. I think the rule is if your cab is out in the intersection when it turns red, you're good. You have to do a little research and figure out what that is. Truck headquarters in Roswell. Like, what is it? It had dollar signs on the icon. I couldn't really figure out exactly what it was. New Mexico Military Institute. Who knew? Would have never thought they had a military institute in New Mexico. It's cool. You know, I like this with track IR where I could look out the... It's almost like I'm sticking my head out the window. It's like a Range Rover right there. Beautiful truck. Definitely keep it on the radar. You know, this town must really... I'm guessing we're going to see some, if we haven't already, some souvenir type of shops. You would think they just bank on the, you know, whole Roswell thing. It's a pawn shop. That'd be pretty standard for this section of the country. That must be a famous place, that diner. Almost has a spaceship type of look to it. I'm sure that was intentional. Yeah, the cool thing is probably a lot of these places that still exist there that have that type of look were probably built in the 1950s or 60s. Somebody trying to capitalize on what was happening, because if I'm correct, that happened in 1947. So people would have had time to capitalize on that in the 50s and 60s. Got a nice exterior view. That's a big thing I'm hauling. Look at the size of that thing. Get rid of this. It's a big hunk of machinery. You can see why it's 97,000 pounds. Roswell Pioneer Plaza. Well, I'm in business if I'm making a right-hand turn or staying straight up here. Everybody else is in the left lane. American Way Supply Store. Wouldn't be an American town without a Chinese food place, or, well, it actually has Chinese, Japanese, did I say Japanese? Japanese and Thai. Look at this guy in his truck over there. Hey, how you doing? He's not very nice. Hey, I'm driving a Kenworth too. Look at me. Didn't want to look. What's he hauling? There's some kind of chemical. He definitely has more acceleration than I do. If I could time this light, I could pull ahead of him. I mean, I could really do some eye-flop right now. There's a UFO building there. Want to race? Go! Yes, we beat. UFO Library. UFO Gallery. International Arts Center. Oh, look at that. That definitely has to be a real place. Alright. You guys know how I love these edges of town, so now we're getting out of town, leaving the glitz and the lights behind. Getting back out on the open road. Speed limit coming up to 60. And 70. I love that. Mile outside of town. We're back up to 70, people. Let's do this. Let's haul goods. Do it as fast as possible. So I think I told you guys I was a little disappointed in Thief Simulator Not my game. And Car Mechanic 2018, not my game. But I am looking at that game called Derail Valley. It's a train sim game, but people have been simming those types of games for a long time, have said this is the best train sim out there. And it looks pretty exhaustive and extensive. Like, you basically do everything. So I'm thinking about giving that a look. So that would make my trifecta, you know, if I like that game and it plays well for me, that would make my trifecta a trucking game, which is this, obviously, a train game, which would be that, and then finally I'm going to invest in Microsoft Flight Simulator. And like I mentioned earlier, I've done a fair bit of flying World War I planes mostly, which are, you know, you got to be pretty skilled to fly those planes, man. You like make one mistake and you rip a wing off and crash to a horrible death. So I'm feeling pretty confident that I can do some good videos with flying. So that's really the big three, right? A driving game, a train sim, and a flying sim. And the one other thing would be maybe like a farming sim, but I don't know. I mean, I'm not really feeling any of these all that much. I'm not really feeling Farming Simulator 19. I mean, SnowRunner might be pretty cool, but I think it's pretty grindy, and a game like that I think is much more fun to play with other people. And yeah, I need to find those people to play with that, you know, make it fun. So I don't know. We'll see. But right now, that's looking like the big three of the videos, and I want to kind of condense a little bit. I don't want to be doing like, you know, 7 different games on this channel. I like to start with maybe 3. And obviously I'm pumping out a lot of content for this. And Microsoft Flight Simulator will take about another 3 weeks to come out. That's going to be like August 20th. And that other game has been available, so I might want to check that one out. But the nice thing about that train sim game is it's a really good game now, and it's still early access. So I'm hoping that once it goes full release, you know, that's when people get their confidence in it and you know, really start to play it. Like, you know, it's important when you're doing a channel like this to support games that people play a lot. And hopefully that becomes the case. So let's see if I kind of get this thing straight here. Doesn't look like I quite got it. Let me just take a look on the exterior view here. Yep, didn't quite get it, you know? I'm taking the coward's way out. I know for a fact I'll be here 15-20 minutes trying to back this thing up. So cool with the train. Let's enjoy that for a second. Just gonna get a good angle on it. Not really. Alright guys, I'm okay with just ending this thing right now. I don't want to sit here and try and park this thing. I'm just not that good at it, and I admit it. So let's end this thing. Alright, excellent. 573 miles, almost 12 hours, 120 gallons of gas. High value cargo bonus. That XP that I put on that is really paying off. Long distance delivery, that's another one that I have. So look at that. That's about 330, almost 400 XP for just up leveling those two components. So those would be a good place to put some of my XP coming up, right? So let's see. High value cargo bonus. I got 166 for being a skill rank 1. I believe that's going to give me the option to do it now, so I think I'm going to put my money there. Yeah, let's go high value cargo. Let's do that. I'm not crazy about this just-in-time delivery. I mean, it could be good, but you know, it just really forces me into having to drive fast and to be aggressive, and I don't know that that's the type of player I want to be right now, like all the time. I don't know if I want the stress of time. I want to just take my time and enjoy it, and if I want to show you guys something, I want to show you something. So that'd be something to consider. But this fuel economy one is good too, because yeah, as you know, I mean, fuel can be expensive. So alright, so anyhow guys, thanks for watching. I really do appreciate you, and I'll catch you next time. See you soon.